If you're over 50, there's something your body might be trying to tell you. Not loudly, not urgently, but quietly, consistently, in ways that are easy to overlook. It doesn't show up as sharp pain or a sudden problem that forces you to stop. Instead, it appears as small changes that feel almost harmless. A little more tired than usual. A strange tingling in your feet when you lie down at night. Moments where your memory slips just slightly more than it used to. These things don't feel serious. They don't feel connected. And that's exactly why most people ignore them. They tell themselves it's normal, that it's just age, just stress, just part of getting older. But sometimes, these small signals are not random at all. They are patterns. And those patterns often point to something deeper happening inside your body. One of the most overlooked reasons behind these symptoms is low vitamin B12 levels, a deficiency that develops slowly, quietly, and often without clear warning. Vitamin B12 plays a role that's far more important than most people realize. It's deeply involved in how your body produces energy. It supports your nervous system, helping your brain and body communicate clearly. It's essential for forming healthy red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your entire system. And it even affects your mood, your focus, and your sense of balance. When B12 levels are stable, all of these systems work together smoothly. But when levels begin to drop, things start to shift. And here's what makes this especially important after 50. Your body's ability to absorb B12 naturally decreases with age. Even if you're eating the same foods, even if your diet looks healthy, your stomach produces less acid, which is needed to separate B12 from food. That means over time, your body may be taking in less than it actually needs. So the deficiency doesn't happen overnight. It builds, slowly, silently, over months or even years. And the symptoms don't appear all at once. They show up in small, scattered ways that are easy to dismiss. One of the earliest signs is a kind of fatigue that feels different. Not just being tired after a long day, but a deeper, ongoing lack of energy. You wake up feeling like you didn't fully rest. Simple tasks feel heavier. Your motivation drops. And no matter how much sleep you get, it doesn't seem to fix the problem. This happens because without enough B12, your body struggles to produce healthy red blood cells. And when oxygen delivery decreases, your energy naturally follows. Then there's the tingling, a light buzzing feeling in your feet or hands. Sometimes it feels like pins and needles. Sometimes it's numbness that comes and goes. Many people notice it more at night when everything is quiet. This is often linked to your nerves. B12 helps maintain the protective layer around them. When that protection weakens, nerve signals become less stable. Over time, this can progress into peripheral neuropathy, where the sensations become stronger, more frequent, and harder to ignore. But what makes this even more concerning is that nerve-related symptoms don't always reverse easily if ignored for too long. That's why early awareness matters. Now consider something even more subtle, your thinking. You may not notice it right away, but over time, you might find it harder to focus. You forget names more often. You walk into a room and forget why you're there. Conversations feel slightly harder to follow. These aren't dramatic changes, but they're noticeable if you pay attention. And while many people assume this is just aging, B12 plays a direct role in brain function. Low levels can affect how your brain processes information, how quickly you think, and how clearly you remember. Along with that, mood can begin to shift. You may feel more irritable than usual, less motivated, slightly low without a clear reason. B12 is involved in producing neurotransmitters, chemicals that regulate how you feel. When those are affected, your emotional balance can change too. And because it happens gradually, many people don't connect it to a nutritional issue. Another signal shows up in your balance. You may feel a little unsteady while walking. Not enough to fall, but enough to notice. Your coordination feels slightly off. This is again connected to your nervous system. When signals between your brain and body are not as sharp, your sense of movement and position can be affected. Over time, this can increase the risk of falls, especially if left unaddressed. Even your appearance can reflect what's happening internally. Some people notice their skin looking paler than usual, or slightly yellowish. This is linked to changes in red blood cell production. When those cells are not formed properly, oxygen circulation is affected, and that can subtly change how your skin looks. Then there are changes in your mouth, a smooth or sore tongue, a burning sensation, small ulcers that come and go. These signs are often ignored because they don't seem serious, but they can be early indicators that your body is lacking essential nutrients like B12. And in more advanced stages, you may notice shortness of breath or a faster heartbeat during simple activities. Climbing stairs feels harder. Walking feels more tiring. This happens because your body is trying to compensate for lower oxygen levels by making your heart work harder. When you look at each of these symptoms on their own, they don't seem alarming. But when you see them together, as a pattern, they tell a different story. And that story is not about aging alone. It's about what your body is missing. The encouraging part is this. This is something you can take control of. Start by understanding where B12 comes from. It's naturally found in foods like meat, fish, eggs, and dairy. If your diet lacks these, your intake may already be low. But even if you eat them regularly, absorption can still be an issue. Certain medications, like those used for acid reflux, or conditions affecting your stomach and digestion, can reduce how much B12 your body actually absorbs. That's why simply eating healthy is not always enough. Awareness is key. If these symptoms sound familiar, it's worth paying attention, not with fear, but with clarity. A simple check of your B12 levels can give you real answers. And if levels are low, there are straightforward ways to correct it, through diet, supplements, or medical guidance. What matters most is timing, because the earlier you recognize these signs, the easier it is to restore balance. Your body is always communicating with you, not loudly, but consistently, through patterns, sensations, and small changes that build over time. And when you start listening, really listening, you give yourself the chance to respond before those small signals turn into something bigger. Because your body is not designed to feel constantly tired, foggy, or disconnected. It's designed to function with clarity, energy, and stability. And sometimes, the difference between those two states is simply giving your body what it has been quietly asking for all along.